You hear it?
Yeah, that's fine. Keep.
Good. What shall I say?
Well, tell another one of your stories.
Well, you put 'em down, they'll call me a damn liar.
Well, so what's the matter with that?
Well, like I told you about Tom and Roe.
Tell the rest of it.
Well, that's all I've got to tell about it. He came down there and cooked for us. And at night we used to sit around. He used to tell things about his early days here. He was here before the country opened. And he and another feller that picked him up at Arkansas City, Kansas, in an old wagon, covered wagon, had a lot of traps and fish nets, and they come down the territory here, nobody in here, and they'd fish and hunt and salt the fish and salt the meat and take it to Wichita to sell it. The army would catch 'em. Well, they'd put 'em in a jug for a couple of weeks, and sometimes they get too obstreperous, they'd burn their traps and their nets, and they'd get out. Well, they'd get the wagon and horses back and start back again. And at one time they camped down here about where Arcadia is now, up on a high hill there. They call it Bohemian Hill now. And we got up early in the morning. And said they heard an elk bugling before sunup. They started to look for him. They got up on the highest hill, see if they could find him. And so the sun was coming up, just as coming over the horizon. They looked south, and they was astounded. They just sat there and looked at each other. They saw some great big tall buildings, taller than anything you'd ever seen in Europe, anywhere else. They said, right out of the sky there, still the mist was still around. I could see the sun shining on the windows there. And you know, after I went by there, a long time after that, we drilled a well there, and one morning I did that, I could see those buildings at Oklahoma City. I wondered about that lots of times. What happened there?
What year was that?
Oh, that was about 1910, and that's before they ever had any big buildings in Oklahoma City that size you could see from Arcadia. Well, Tom was a Scotchman, all right. He said his grandfather wore kilts, but of course he was a modern man. He's a gilder by trade, and he landed in this country here right after the Civil War, and everybody was broke. So he left the East and came back to Kansas and landed in Wichita. And he went to Arkansas City, and he started down here to Oklahoma with that feller. Later on, when he quit, I paid him $40, and he came to Oklahoma City. And they were selling the addition there on 41st, I think it was in Western. He bought 2 lots there. And he built him a little shack on there, and he lived in that shack there till he died. Today it's right in the heart, you might say, of Oklahoma City.